Welcome to It All Boils Down to This, the podcast where father and son take the kitchen table arguments and heated discussions from their home directly to yours. Jim and Jack Boyle will explore the world as only they can. We might even let a few guests join the fun. So sit back, choose a side, watch the water temperature rise, and enjoy stimulating generational conversation about sports and life. All right, welcome to episode 50 of It All Boils Down to This. We hit the half-century mark, Jack, and we had a really exciting week. I know we got some...
Moogie Betts.
Oh, Moogie Betts. We've got some stuff from Kevin as well. We got a whole line of things here as Jack just arrived. We're going to start with college football. We watched a couple games. Just what are your quick impressions of the last weekend?
College football, I don't know where to start. I guess if we're going to start with college football, I guess we just start with Kevin. My impressions were, I'm a Nebraska guy. I watched a little bit. We were driving home early Saturday morning, so a little bit recovering. I watched the end of that South Carolina game. Good games. There weren't actually that many great games over the week, but no, we're just getting along in the season, and each week we get new games. But yeah, I say we just go with Kevin here.
We're going to start with Kevin?
Yeah.
All right, I can't wait. Kevin, go. Here we go. Are you clipped up? Is it clipped up?
It's great to be calling back in for week 4. Jack is now sending me an agenda for the calls each week, which I really appreciate. But he omitted something very important that's happened in the country in this past week, and that was an attempt on an individual's life. And I feel like it would be disingenuous for me to not talk about this. Whoever that person was, that horrible, horrible person who attacked Derek White at the Colorado State football game this past weekend, I want that person behind bars. That was a truly disgusting act, and I know Joe Mazzulla is just cooking up something. There will be a retaliation, hopefully respectfully. Okay.
So I saw you. I was looking at you. You were confused. When I heard that for the first time, I knew exactly what he was doing. I knew he was doing, obviously, the troll job to get the Derek White point out. I saw you confused. That was hilarious. Derek getting attacked. I mean, like I said, there's something inside of me was activated when I saw that video. There was just I wanted to do something. I wanted to just run around outside and like Liam Neeson. I just was looking to find someone to beat up. That's the worst.
My God.
The worst quote ever.
It was
I
a weird
needed to get out
fight,
there, and I needed to get at the guy that was going after Derek White, and all Celtics fans felt the same way.
It was like a needless fight, though.
Oh, for sure, but he got it. He's a bald man, and someone knocked his hat off. A bald man.
Oh, my God. And his team kicked the crap out of those guys, too.
Yeah, horrible.
Which we'll get to later. But Kevin bringing in some... Sliding that in. I got to kill you, Kevin. That's good. Good.
On to the agenda. Jack wants me to address my lock of Florida State, obviously. I don't know what there is to say. I suck right now. I suck at betting. I looked at the lines for this upcoming week, and guys, I'll be honest, I'm seeing ghosts. I'm seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold did in that Monday Night Football game against the Patriots 5 years ago. I'm completely and utterly lost. I'm 0-3 on the Joe Trevisani Award. I'm 17-23-1 on picks this year, and money-wise, it's even worse because I've been losing the locks, and I put the most money on those, and even my bigger games I've been losing as well. So it's just been a horrible year for me, and I hope I can, rerebound here.
Can't afford to waste these tickets anymore.
That's why
in terms of games recap, I would say the game of the week was South Carolina LSU. Herb Street and Fowler on the call. Game day was there,
and Ben the dog.
That was a huge comeback win for LSU. Brian Kelly desperately needed that. I think I wouldn't say he would be on the hot seat after losing that game, but that would have been another horrible loss against him. But South Carolina looks better than what people thought heading into the season. Their QB can really run. They played really well. So an interesting team that could beat up on some better teams in the SEC this year. Alabama, Wisconsin.
So this is how informed we are as a podcast. I heard they got screwed by the refs in that game, South Carolina, but it is what it is. They gave them a tough game. I really wanted to see South Carolina win that game. And like Kevin says, hot seat, he would have been on the hot seat. As much money as they pay him and all, you lose games at LSU, you lose more than 2 games a year, 3 games, you're going to be on. That's just how it goes.
Well, just to talk about Brian Kelly, that's how he started last year. He was on
that's how he starts every year.
Let me tell you, 2 years into the reign,
he's a good coach.
He's not going to the hot seat. He's going to make he has a good shot, better than South Carolina, to make the tournament. All right, A. B,
he's coaching LSU.
B, the referees always screw you.
That's like saying Man City have a better chance of winning the league than Southampton do. Of course,
the quarterback I don't remember the name. Quarterback for South Carolina was really good in that game, and you know what? Everybody always complains the referees suck when they lose, so that's clear.
No, I heard egregious stuff was going on, but it is what it is. Again, it's LSU. You're up against all that when you're playing LSU.
So, a question: what's more egregious, the NIU Notre Dame game or the South Carolina LSU game?
That's not even a real question. What are you talking about?
You complained all day about that bad call.
LSU. What bad? Oh, the bad call. Oh, I thought you meant like the worst loss. I don't know. No, the call didn't matter.
You're not listening. That's why. Okay, what else you got for me? So he starts off with the USC. Okay, go.
Milroe, my guy, my preseason Heisman pick. He's balling. He was slinging the ball everywhere, and Wisconsin really stinks. Tough look for Luke Fickell. BC and Missouri, BC kept it tight. They show that they're legit. That's my big takeaway there. Oregon State, I'll just note, just because Oregon finally lived up to expectations. They killed their rival on the road, and hopefully that's the start of serious momentum for them as they head towards conference play in the Big Ten. Lastly, Georgia, Kentucky. I actually knew somebody that was a Kentucky fan that was there. He was devastated. People were going nuts about Stoops punting the ball on 4th and 8, I believe it was, at midfield. But I would have punted too because Carson Beck couldn't move the ball the whole game against their defense. And I think at that point, you play for 3 and out, get the ball back with good field position, hopefully drive. But they didn't make that decision, and they lost the game. But I would still do that. I agree with Stoops there. Jack wants me to touch on, is Bama better than Georgia? I would say right now, yes, they have the better quarterback, and their defense, which was their question mark heading into the season, has been really good for Alabama. So I think they're better than Georgia, even though Georgia did beat Clemson.
So I don't know why I said Bama, but that would make Georgia the 3rd best team in the SEC right now.
Right. It would.
Well, Beck sucks. I mean, if they had Raiola, he'd be. They would be winning every game by 50.
So did Carson Beck? He hasn't won anything yet, right?
I think he won a national championship 2 years
ago. 2 years ago.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. No, you know what? That might have been Stetson Bennett. You know what though? Carson Beck and Stetson Bennett. I'm not kidding with you. That is the same person. He just did a name change and somehow got eligibility. That's the same person.
So back to Georgia, is winning by 1 point at Kentucky, is that really something to be worried about, or they just may have played a crappy game?
No, it's the way they struggle offensively. Okay. Yes, you'd be worried about that for sure.
And we got Alabama and Georgia coming up in a couple weeks, right?
Do we? They play each other this year.
I think it's coming up
good
in a
matchup. I'll be looking forward to that.
And he talked about BC is nothing. Let's give BC a couple weeks till we crown them really good. Let's give them a couple weeks.
All right,
that's all. And the ACC is terrible, by the way. Okay. It's terrible. And by the way, it's so is Purdue. Mm-hmm. He didn't talk about Notre Dame. I don't know. Let's keep it going, then I'll bring my points up.
That's disappointed. This kind of leads me to the Georgia quarterback, Carson Beck. He's this year's J.J. McCarthy. I don't get it. This guy could be like the number 1 overall pick or at least a top 10 pick. He's a game manager. The only thing that he's shown me this year is that he got like a tattoo sleeve on his right arm. That's the only thing he's done this year. So congrats to him, and I guess he'll make $25 million on a rookie deal.
He's probably making $25 million now.
I don't get it. Hopefully he improves and proves me wrong. I really hope that, because I either that or I'm just like a horrible scout. And I guess that's why Justin Travisani gets paid the big bucks and not me. In terms of a team that's disappointed, the obvious one is Notre Dame and their bum of a coach, their movie star of a coach. But I'll actually go with Michigan in light of their performance last week. Horrible offensively. They only beat Arkansas State by 10. That's a team to watch. They could be really, really bad just because they can't move the ball. They're playing USC this week. They're starting a new quarterback, a guy who legitimately cannot throw the ball. So we'll see with that. Arch Manning. Jack wants to talk about Arch Manning. I don't care about Arch because he has Ewers in front of him, who's a first-round pick, Heisman guy that just dominated at the Big House. But I will say this. Jimbo's favorite guy, Sober Steve, as I call him.
Wait.
I'm confused. Go.
Does Kevin know that Ewers got hurt?
He must.
The way he just said that, like played at the Big House, is Ewers back next week? Or are we missing something?
I think he's out a couple weeks. I think so. And I'll tell you something, you can bitch all you want.
Like I said, so I'm doing this agenda for him. The call's better. He's got things to talk about, everything. I'm doing this agenda for him, and I text him, I want your thoughts on Arch Manning. He goes, I don't care about Arch Manning. I go, first off, Arch Manning plays for the number 1 team in the country right now. He is, whether you like it or not, the biggest story in college football. It is Arch Manning. You have to give me a take, and I told him, your take can be that you don't care. I don't know, though. Does he know?
You know what? I don't know if he played that game.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns. Feinbaum said he could win a national championship for him. Feinbaum.
I think that's what I agree on that.
I couldn't believe how big his ears were. When I was seeing him on ESPN.
He's got the big forehead and the big big ears?
No, I'm talking about Feinbaum. Like, I know that's the big joke all the time, like the ears. It's like, these headphones wouldn't fit on him. I was seeing him, he went back and forth with Stephen A. Smith about
Hey,
stuff.
I'm not going to bring it up, but Woj retired today.
We'll talk about that. We will talk about that.
I have that on my list. All right, so Kevin didn't say...
Steve Sarkisian, he runs an
Steve?
excellent pro-style offense, and that's exactly why Arch is there. He'll learn from him for these first couple of years, play next year or maybe the next 2 years, and then be ready for the NFL. So my overall takeaway is that credit to the Mannings for entrusting the right guy, with Arch so he can be ready for the NFL. In terms of who gets fired first, it's an obvious one. Out of the big schools, it's going to be Billy Napier. The players hate him. It was pathetic against A&M this past weekend. Just really pathetic. It's only a matter of time. The boosters just need to get that $25 million ready for him and send him out.
They're going to owe a lot of money.
In terms of next week, Locke, as I've mentioned, I'm just at a loss for words.
All right, fine. The Billy Napier, that was the thing. Again, that was another question I asked him. It was like, who's the first coach to get fired? I phrased it like that. Basically, the question should have been, when is Billy Napier going to get fired?
I think he's definitely on the rocks big time. Florida's really been through. It's just I don't know. I was reading about him is he's not recruiting Florida very well. He's getting beat in Florida, but I'll tell you, the Florida State and Florida, what horrible football teams.
Tebow from North Florida. Aaron Hernandez from Connecticut, though. Good recruiting by Urban.
Yeah, but
you know who recruited Aaron Hernandez, by the way?
Who?
Who probably went to his house and recruited him? Steve Adazio.
Did he really?
Because he was the coordinator.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
What I think about that.
I wonder where Steve Adazio is today. He's gotten left a couple teams. I just
He's
want to
alive,
answer a couple of things. I can't believe that the Notre Dame loving guy, they destroyed an average Big Ten team.
He's not a Notre Dame loving guy. He hates the coach. He doesn't like Notre Dame. He's one of those, I'm Irish, I'm Catholic, like I have to root for Notre Dame because my last name's O'Donnell and I'm Catholic. He doesn't really care.
Can I ask for the next call when you do this agenda? I want to know who his favorite college football team is.
He doesn't have one.
No, you got to have one.
He roots for whoever his lock is. His favorite is whoever his lock is. That's it. He doesn't have a favorite college football
I have a book
team.
at home for him. It's called Gambling is for Dummies. So, God, no wonder you're listening. No, I just think that he can't bitch about the coach if they score.
We're sitting here on our podcast. We're about to give our gambling picks of the week, and now we're calling. You just called both of us dummies.
Well, I'm a dummy too for gambling. I am 3-0 though.
Yeah, no dummy. Yeah.
What? Keep going.
No, you know what? I'm not. Nah, I was going to try and make fun of you there, but I think the way you phrased that actually would have looked good for you. So we're going to move on.
That's true.
All right, let's hear what he has for a lock.
Okay, we're going to get Kevin's lock, and we'll do a little more college football. Go.
For where I am with locks. But I will say this, 5 months ago, when the Miami football schedule came out, a wise man did say this.
Then you have a dangerous USF.
So are we going to say that's a win? 4-0?
A tough win, but I'm going to say yes.
4-0.
A tough win, Danny Boy Kane said about Miami playing on the road at USF. A dangerous USF, he said. They're plus 16.5 in this game. And sometimes you got to take a tip from somewhere other than your gut, especially when your gut is tremendously wrong. And that's what I'm doing here with Danny Boy Kane. So I have USF at home against Miami plus 16.5. Let's see what happened, guys. I'm
plus
really worried. I'm really worried. All right, see ya.
So Kevin, Danny Boy Kane, you're playing Danny Boy Kane in fantasy football and fantasy baseball this week, Kevin. So don't be going like that. That right there.
Who's Danny Boy Kane?
He collects like disability checks, and he's like a message board Miami Hurricane fan.
Okay, I got.
So he's just like a legendary Miami Hurricanes football fan. So he's unbelievable. He did say last year in the spring he was talking about Miami football, and he said, "Watch out for this Week 3 game against USF. That's gonna be a trap game." So that's why Kevin picked it. So what I'm doing right now,
go.
Like Kevin said, I've been seeing ghosts. I want to lock off. I'm going Miami. I'm riding Miami minus 16.5 for sure. On the road, at home, wherever they play, they're going to win that game by 30 points.
All
and
right.
Kevin's going to be on 4.
We got a lock off. First lock off of the year, Jack. I like that.
That's
like
going to
that.
be my lock. I don't love the board this week. I don't love the board. Nebraska against Illinois, they're 7.5-point favorites. That's a bit too much for me to pick, so I'm going with that. Kevin just gave me that. I'm going against Danny Boy Kane. I'm going against Danny Boy.
You are? I will say this. South Florida, AAC, I don't trust them. I would stay as far away from that game as possible. Miami needs to run up scores and beat teams bad to keep
the quarterback's really good.
Because they're ACC team. So that's tough. I have to say I'm gonna side with you Not Kevin. I like Miami plus 6.5. Got Mr. Greco sent me 2 picks. One doesn't count.
Well, he's a bit behind, so why don't we just count them both?
No, this is a joke pick.
Oh.
Joke pick.
UMass something.
No. First pick, he's got Tennessee minus 7.
I like that one too. I was looking at that game. That's a big game, but
actually,
I don't know.
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma, you never know. I don't know enough about those two teams where a matchup that big in the year. Like how I wanted to pick the Michigan to cover against Texas. Right. But they were 2 high-profile teams. They weren't even on the same field. So I don't know if I'm ready to pick a game like that again.
So he's going to go. He's got.
That's Tennessee by 7, right?
7.5.
Okay, that's a big difference.
He said 7. When he texted me it was 7. I've got 7.5 on my list. We can leave it at 7. Let me see what he had on the text to me. And then the other game he's got here is he's going to go with Tulane minus 3 over the Raging Cajuns, and he said Jack would know what that means.
Yeah,
do you want to fill us in?
No, I mean shout out the Raging Cajuns with a big win against University of Texas San Antonio. I think it was last night in Chris's NCAA football dynasty online league that he plays. I guess his roommate or his college friend's just a fantastic player. Chris threw a pick 6 early in the game. Never really recovered from that. Actually, he did recover from that, but he never recovered score-wise from that. He played a decent game, I will say.
That's good.
He doesn't like the Raging Cajuns. I get it.
He texted me. He says, Jack will find it funny. I said, I don't know why it's funny. You lost that guy who's just too good for you. He laughed. So it is minus 7. He did text me minus 7, so we'll give Chris
Chris, double when you gotta like just tap square multiple times, and that's how you slide. Chris wouldn't slide. He didn't know how to slide with his quarterback. He'd run out of the pocket, and he'd do like a little full like diving into the end zone dive. It was hilarious. That's how you fumble.
This is such great. What's that called? PlayStation.
PlayStation, yeah, Xbox, video games, yeah.
This is great talk. So I am going to go with the. I'm going to Washington minus 10.5 at home against Northwestern. Again, a very meaningless game, but you know what? I'm going to stick with my West Coast
I like that
boys.
pick. Like that's actually a good pick. I don't rate Northwestern at all.
And the other thing about that is Washington choked against Wazoo last week, so I like that. A couple other games.
Whatever happened to Northwestern? Are they still getting sued? Weren't they? Remember that?
Well, the coach got fired. The coach sued him back and all that crap because he was whatever. It was a hazing. I think it was hazing.
Yeah, it was hazing.
Yeah, hazing. Okay, Jack, just real quick, I'll run the couple games that were picked. Louisiana.
Is this next week or the week?
This week coming up.
Yeah, coming up.
So we got Louisiana versus
big game,
Louisiana, Georgia Tech. Louisiana minus 10. USC at Michigan. I like this one too. USC minus 5.5 at Michigan. What do you think?
USC is going to kill them, but like that. I was thinking about making that my lock, but you just know, and I know it backfired on me last time, but you never know what's going to happen at the Big House. It's not easy to play at the Big House. Texas made it look like a joke, but it's not easy to play there. So it's hard to pick against Michigan at the Big House.
Okay,
it just is. As bad as they are, it's hard to pick.
And USC's got a pretty good team. The next game, UCLA at LSU. LSU minus 24. That's a lot of number, but I still think LSU covers.
Yeah, I just think every single game LSU plays, they're going to get better. That's what Brian Kelly teams do. So, they had a good second half. Hopefully they ride the momentum and cover that. I don't know if they'll cover that, but they'll win that game.
Okay, I like LSU. One of the bigger the new Big 12, a nice big game. Utah at Oklahoma State.
Huge game.
Utah give it minus 2, but their quarterback's hurt. So sort of runs.
Rising's hurt. Cam Rising, so he's always hurt. But if he were healthy, what they did say is the quarterback matchup in that game, I think with the combined age, if both starting quarterbacks were to play, would have been 49 years old. The starting quarterback combined age in the Sunday night football game in the NFL last week was 44 years old.
That's amazing.
5 years younger than the college game.
That's amazing stat. Yeah. But then in college, we got all the old timers playing. And my final game is. He had Napier being the first coach to get fired. I'm going to tell you, this game will involve the second coach to get fired, hopefully. Utah State at my Temple Owls. Temple getting 6.5 at home. If he does not win this football game, they got to get rid of him. Stan Drayton's got to go. So I just want to make that point.
Temple did play pretty good last week. They looked decent against the Chanticleers, whatever that.
But they should be beating the Chanticleers.
Are they It's not Chanticleers. Chanticleers like the thing you have in your palace.
No, Chanticleer is like a bird with a big thing on the back. Hold on, let me show you.
I knew it was something weird.
I think it's a bird with like a big thing. Not a chandelier, Jack. A chanticleer.
Okay,
I thought hopefully that I'm correct. That it's a bird.
I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't the No, you're right. I know it is something. I thought it was the Chanticleers for a second. I don't know.
Hold on.
Call up Jared Marquardt, Connor Zaya.
That's true. We got a lot of guys down in South Carolina.
Send in Connor Zaya is locking up the YSL gang down there in Georgia. He's putting them all in the Cobb County prison. Isn't that where Jaylen Brown's teacher said he'd be right now?
Yes.
And Jaylen Brown's just all over the world having the summer of his life. Oh, shout out Jaylen Brown. I love Jaylen Brown.
There you go. Good news. That's good. So that's college football. I'll wrap up the locks for us, Jack. I've got Chris is Tennessee -7. Jack has got Michigan. Jack's got Miami -16.5. Kevin's got USF +16 against Miami, and Jim versus Northwestern versus Washington. Washington at home -10.5. So again, what's this? Kevin's record is 0-3.
0-3, and then last week I did lose my first loss of the year. I did pick Colorado State. That was just I let hate cloud. I shouldn't have picked that. That was a reactionary game after Nebraska just kicked their ass. Colorado State talked all that junk. That quarterback talked all that junk, and he played awful. And then you get people mad. Like, I hate the Shador Sanders kid. I think he's a good player, but attitude horrible. He had every right to be a dick to that guy. He did, because the way that they talked before the game, Sanders had every right to do what he did after the game. And then you got these people who hate Sanders even more than I do. It's like, well, you see this attitude. He'll never get drafted number 1 in the NFL. It's like,
he's getting drafted.
Baker Mayfield got picked number 1 like 5 years ago. Do you remember his attitude in college? It was off the charts. It was no different than Sanders. It wasn't.
Very true.
There was no difference.
True. Chanticleer is a proud and fierce rooster.
Rooster?
Rooster.
They're going to play the Gamecocks?
They should play the Cocks. The Gamecocks versus the Roosters would be great. That's South Carolina. That's what you have. They must have a lot of roosters.
Dude, your mascot's a freaking rooster.
No, a proud and fierce rooster.
Proud and fierce.
Proud and fierce rooster. Let's go to our boys. Connor Zaya, shout out if you're listening. Connor Zaya, that's a Chanticleer. Good night. All right, one final thing I want to bring up on college football is Tennessee is now on their tickets. There's a surcharge. I think it's a 10% surcharge to cover paying for the players. We have gone all the way down the road to now the tickets are going to be allocated. The money from tickets allocated to help pay for the players. Where does that leave us, Jack?
No, I mean, that's just Tennessee being like, oh, we can't afford this. Yeah, you can. They're just screwing you. They're just trying to screw people. It's like the people like, oh, we can't raise the minimum wage, like, because it's going to affect it because we can't pocket as much money. They don't need to do this. They're going the Tennessee fans. It's actually a good way of selling it because the Tennessee fans are like, all right, yeah, we'll do that. We'll chip in all we need. We'll pay that. They don't need that. They have enough money from the boosters. They have enough money from the ticket sales in general. They do not need that money. They're just trying to screw their fans. What do you expect? It's Tennessee.
I would expect none less SEC. The only way to compete in the SEC is to compete in the SEC to get more money.
Do you agree with that, though? There's no need for them to 10% increase on the tickets to pay for the players. They can afford that.
Hey, the Red Sox would increase the 10%.
Well, the Red Sox increased the tickets and then get rid of all the players. Yeah, the Red Sox, yeah.
All right, I just want to bring that one up because that's on my list. That's really it.
Liverpool raised the ticket prices. The fans walk out in the 77th minute with a 2-0 lead. You'll never walk alone. And then all of a sudden they tie 2-2 after all the fans walk out protesting the ticket prices.
All right.
Oh, they all came back in a heartbeat.
All right, our college football.
Those ticket prices didn't go down. That protest did nothing besides make them look like idiots.
Our college football segment has come to a close. Jack still got Damon. Is it Damon Riola?
No, Dylan.
Well, Dylan Riola. Dylan Riola is his boy.
Dylan Wright or Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
whatever. All right, so let's go to Patrick Mahomes. Bring in the NFL real quick. I looked at. There's a couple games that happened. I think that needs to mention. One that the KC Cincinnati game, the Ravens game, Phillies Falcons, and then the Cowboys absolutely positively getting destroyed. Why don't you give me a quick?
No, I didn't. Let me pull this. I didn't watch much of the NFL. First, just real quick because we didn't talk about it. Next week in college football, I mean Friday night football. It's the first in a decade. First Nebraska ranked versus ranked game. They're playing Illinois. Huge game. They were playing. They were playing Northern Iowa last week, and I literally sat on the couch with a clipboard with the whole roster on.
Can I tell you something
getting to know the players, learning everything. We're ready to go. Matt's ready to go. That's going to be such a fun environment Friday night. They're giving all the kids the day off of classes. They're ready to go, and they look great. Raiola looks great. I think he's better than NFL quarterbacks right now. I'm telling you, this is a team to watch out for. They're a top 10 team in the country. They are. They're gonna show you guys on Friday night that they are. You know what? My lock 7.5. God damn it. God damn it. Screw you, Kevin. My lock.
No, you can't change your lock.
I'll save it. I'll save it for the Ohio State game. Okay. I'll save it for when Nebraska.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
You're right.
Everybody buy Jack Cornhusker stuff because that's what he's rooting for.
Yes, I was thinking I have to buy a sweatshirt, obviously. Every team I root for is red, though. It's like, can I get a different team?
Oh, that's the way it goes. The way it goes. The way it goes. Kansas City, Cincinnati. What are you looking up?
I'm getting all the NFL scores. Kansas City, Cincinnati. I enjoyed that game a lot. Like I said, I enjoy the games where it's like it's going to be two good teams. There's going to be decent football played, even though there was obviously always crappy football. Passing in the league's horrible right now, but at least you're getting two good quarterbacks. You know it's going to go down to the wire, and it's fun to watch because you know those teams actually mean something because you know they're competing for Super Bowls. All right,
but 4th and 16.
It was fun. It was great.
4th and 16.
Yeah,
4th and 16, and there's a penalty. Does that remind me of some other team that dominated the league for 20 years?
I guess the Patriots. That's a weird take. The worst thing. It's not the penalty you should be complaining about. It should be, and this is where I was wrong with the Patriots. It should be the sheer brain farting of the other team.
That's always happens.
Right? That was a brain. It's 4th and 16. How do you get that egregious of a pass interference?
Right. I agree.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the Milroe play against Auburn last year. It's 4th and 26. How does that happen? It's 4th and 16. It should be impossible to give up a first down on 4th and 16, and they did. And then Butker. I mean, he has a claim. I did see that was the first time he's ever hit a kick where they were actually losing, like at the end of the game, which is weird. He has a claim, and he maybe another Super Bowl and another big kick in it. He has a claim of being the best kicker of all time. He truly does. I'll take him over Justin Tucker any day of the week. That weak-minded. I don't even know what to call. I'll call him as Harrison Butker would call him, a beta.
Oh, whatever. Still, I'd go with Adam Vinatieri, greatest kicker all time.
That's fine, and that's good and all, but Butker is on his level at least.
Let's take a step back and say Cincinnati has been. It was unfortunate. They played shitty against the Patriots. They played a really good game.
I don't think they played an okay game. Kansas City played horrible.
Are you worried about Kansas City playing not great first open two games, even though it was against two really good teams?
They played maybe their two biggest competition. Their two biggest opponents in winning a Super Bowl this year, or at least in winning the AFC.
Right.
And they won both of those games, not playing their A game. I would be as enthused by that as a Chiefs fan as I am a Chiefs fan. Like, there's no way they win less than 14 games this year.
Right.
I think it's the best teams Mahomes has ever had. They're going to win the Super Bowl easily. Honestly, they're not. They are winning games right now against top A-level teams without even playing good. There's no one who's beaten them. Everyone throws up on themselves.
14 and Super Bowl champs.
At least 14 wins.
Oh, at least. No less than, I said.
Yes,
okay. I'll let you go on that one. I just like writing your notes on. I'm going to have all these notes at the end of the year, see how close you are on all these predictions.
Okay, last year, what did I say all year? The Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Who was right?
Ravens lost again really poorly at home to the Raiders. They're 0-2. And then the Sixers. The Phillies, the Eagles, rather. What the hell? I'm brain farting all over.
The Flyers, you mean?
The Flyers.
Oh, no, the Philadelphia Union.
The Union. The Eagles got beat late by the Falcons, which is interesting.
Gritty.
But that coach is terrible. He's terrible. I think Sirianni's a problem.
I mean, again, did you write that down in your notes? Oh, you take the notes when I say things. Like,
I have that down.
Yes, Nick Sirianni's the biggest idiot in the NFL. We have that written down. That's dumb.
We written down. Patriots. Well, because it is a New England-based show here. Pats, very, very boring team.
Nah.
Very boring. Boring as shit.
Really boring. The Keon White guy's phenomenal. What a player. Dog, defensive end.
Well, their two best players are on defense, Gonzalez and White, right?
Yeah.
And their quarterback isn't going to make mistakes, right? But they're boring.
Well, their quarterback's not going to make plays. Their wide receivers stink.
That's right. Their wide receivers
they're boring. Yeah.
So they got the Jets. Okay, real quick.
There's 15 teams in the NFL that I feel like are like that, where they're just boring. I don't want to watch them play, and that's the issue with the NFL.
There's a lot. But
it's like the majority of the snaps are
Jets
poor
Thursday
snaps.
night, which is tomorrow night.
Poor reps.
We'll probably have this game up right after the Jets game. What do you think, Jets?
Jets versus who?
Patriots Thursday night.
Oh, Thursday night. Where is that?
At New York. At the Meadowlands. At the Meadowlands in New York.
The Pats have a chance at that. They do.
They're probably going to lose, but they have a chance. Jets by 10. Pats won't score in that defense. Jets by 10. Final NFL note. I don't even want to look forward to this week because the games are really boring. Final NFL note really is, I think, something that we could talk about forever, is the Tua injury. Tagovailoa with his third concussion within 2 or 3 years. You know what? I watched it, and I know you did. He initiated the frickin' hit.
Yeah, no one's arguing that. Yeah, he doesn't know how to slide. He's like Chris Greco. He's hitting the square button. He doesn't know double tap square. You got to teach him that. Even if he were the most healthy guy on the planet, I still think he should retire. He stinks. So
besides that, he stinks. He's got brain damage.
Correct, and that alone should be enough to have him.
I would think that.
I mean, I'm watching him on the field with his fingers all like this, and he's like, how many more times are we going to put up? Like, how many more times do I have to watch this before?
Second time.
I feel like it's the third.
Well, it's the third concussion, but second time his fingers were all crazy.
Yeah,
I want to know.
Enough.
You know what I think about? I want to know, did I do that when I got knocked off the bike? I got knocked out. I wish I had a picture of that. Do you think I sat there like this?
Well, unlike you, people actually did witness me get knocked out, so maybe I did that.
Well, we'll have to ask. Well, Chris, if you're listening to Chris, we'll have to check. Maybe we'll call Dylan Bresnan up because he ran away. He was so scared. But that's the NFL. A lot going on. The Pats. The other one more point. Teams 0-2. The two teams I want to talk about 0-2. We talk. Who's in more trouble? The Ravens at 0-2, and they're both the same division, or the Bengals at 0-2?
So I think neither of them, because the benefit that both of them have is they're the best team in their division, like their biggest opponent in their division.
Steelers.
Because the other two teams, the Steelers and the Browns, forget them, they're useless. The other team that they're competing with also is 0-2, and they got 2 games against them. So I don't think either of them are in a bad spot. I think
the Ravens are in trouble. They have a tough little schedule coming. I would look that up. I think when I watch the Ravens' schedule coming up is not easy. Well, yeah,
because the Ravens won the division last year. The Bengals didn't, so they get the 2 easier games inevitably. Right. But no, I don't think I wouldn't. If I were a Bengals fan or a Ravens fan, I would not be panicking about my Super Bowl chances yet.
I would be panicking, but I'd be more worried about.
I'd be panicking
Ravens.
about my receivers.
I'd be more worried about the Ravens.
If I were the Bengals, I'd be panicking about my 2 receivers who just clearly are unhappy, and that's what I would be worrying about. But no, I think we'll probably see both those teams in the playoffs. Maybe one of them totally collapses.
I think Cincinnati,
but I think we'll see one of those teams against the Chiefs in the championship game.
Okay, that's a good take. I like that take. That's a good take.
I think it'll be one of those.
Finally, one of the smarter takes that you've had. Not the Chargers who are 2-0.
No.
With Jim Harbaugh.
Who's got it better than us?
That's true. And then I just lost my train of thought. I had another great question about the NFL, and I don't even remember what it was. Oh, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Who got their ass? How long till they fire Mike McCarthy?
Never. They should have done it after last year. And you know what? They never should have hired him. I don't know. No. Jerry Jones he's more focused on promoting the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight than he is about running his football team.
And I just want to bring up Bryce Young got benched.
Yeah.
Who's Dalton?
Andy Dalton. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
As LeBron said, keep your head up, bro. This isn't on you.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. That team is absolutely
Matt Rule, undefeated.
Horrible.
Ready? Matt Rule, undefeated. Sam Darnold, undefeated.
I don't get it. Sam Darnold's
Panthers suck.
Well, next week we'll talk about the quarterback in the NFL a little bit more. I do know that did you get me? Do you have audio for me?
No, I didn't get the great core audio, but I haven't cared about the Red Sox at all this year.
Okay, go. Well, I'll let you diatribe because I don't get to diatribe.
Like me getting activated, I was activated when this happened. When I saw Cole walk Devers intentionally, it was like, all right, that was pretty weird.
Did he do this?
Yeah, he threw the 4, whatever. And then after the game, I didn't even realize he hit him. And Core's right. He clearly intentionally hit him because he admitted it by the other thing. And then I was just it didn't lead to a fight. It didn't lead to anything. I just have some of Cole's comments here. Them asking him about like the strategy of it and just the way he answers the question. Like you clearly can tell he doesn't have an answer. He doesn't want to throw someone under the bus. He doesn't want to throw himself under the bus. And he's just talking out of his ass. And Yankee fans actually kind of ended up defending him.
All right, go. Let's hear what you got. And I'll
in your discussions leading up to this game, the Yankees or Boone or Matt came to you and said, this is something we want to do, or you suggested to them that's something that you would want to do?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, it was just a discussion about what we were going to do in situations. The objective is not to let Devers beat us, you know? Stupid. I mean, but in order to not let Devers beat you, you have to make better pitches to the other guys around you. So
wait. In order to not let Devers beat you, you have to make better pitches to the other guys around him. Or you could just pitch to him and make better pitches to him.
You know what? The horseshit answer is horseshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. That's nothing. Just if you're good enough to beat him, you're good enough to beat him. And you know what? It's in his head. And I don't think he's a big game pitcher, and he's showing it. And give Devers credit. They should have hit Judge though. They missed him.
The big issue is, like, with the Yankees fans and their reaction to this, and they get mad at Core and all that, it's like, you guys are taking this the wrong way. Like, you guys should be mad at Cole and Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner. You shouldn't be mad at Alex Core. You shouldn't be mad at the Red Sox. What happened on that field, the highest paid pitcher in the history of baseball, intentionally walking a guy in the fourth inning with one out, no one on base.
I know.
When he had a perfect game going is humiliating. And the fact that someone wearing those God-given pinstripes did it is humiliating. Don't ever talk to me about this Yankees. They're the biggest thing in sports. They're the biggest franchise in sports. If George Steinbrenner were still alive, he would have been in that clubhouse after the game. He would have slapped Cole in the face. He would have fired Boone. Cashman would have been working at Target 10 years ago. Don't talk to me. Don't brag to me about how you guys are in first place and the Red Sox aren't going to make the playoffs, so why are you guys talking? It's like, what, are you going to brag about your division titles? You're going to keep bragging about those? If you're my age and you're a Yankee fan, you have nothing on me. You have nothing on me. Right. I win, you lose. You guys are losers. It's annoying that they got mad at Core and like that. What Cole did, he embarrassed your once great franchise. And I respect the Yankees. I respect the 90s. I respect Berra. I respect DiMaggio. I respect Ruth. I respect the pinstripes. I do. I really do. He embarrassed them. He embarrassed the Yankees. Boone continues to embarrass the Yankees. And until all those guys are gone, you're an irrelevant franchise. Don't ever talk to the Red Sox. Don't.
So you do know that you've just destined them to win the World Series this year, right?
Oh my God,
you did.
And that's the other thing. That's the other thing. It's like, enjoy.
No.
Wait, that's the other thing. Enjoy vacation in a couple weeks. Enjoy vacation. It's like you guys are gonna be on vacation a week after us. I don't even have to worry about the Yankees winning the World Series. I don't even have to hate watch them. I just know it's gonna happen.
Okay, we know how you feel. The biggest piece I have with this whole thing is he is supposed to be. He's getting paid a ton of money, and he is their ace, right? And he should act like an ace. You know, you suck. Take the, and he whines. But how do you walk a guy with a perfect game? How do you walk a guy? What is going in your brain? If he hits a home run, it's one goddamn run. That's what even with Barry Bonds. Why?
It's one
the
run.
worst thing can happen. It's a one-run home run.
I get it.
A grand slam.
If it's the ninth inning, though,
yes,
I get it. It's the fourth inning.
But what is going in your mind? Except you're conceding that you can't get this guy out. But again, how they're on Cora, who cares? Cora come out and say, we should have hit Judge. Hit him in the ass. Tell him we're not playing that crappy game anymore.
And if Alex Cora was your manager, Garrit Cole is not doing that.
No.
Alex Cora would eat him alive. He would kill him if he did that. Just like how anytime someone, and this has nothing to do with anything, but like him yelling at Eduardo Rodriguez for taunting Correa, it's like he will not take that. He will not let you do it. No, Alex Cora is a cheat. Worry about cheating. Blah, blah, blah. Worry about getting your ass beat by him all the time we play a big game.
Again,
all the time.
It all comes down to the
last time you beat us in an important
Yankee
game.
fans was always the Yankee way, and I won't. We're running up on time today.
That's the thing. The Yankee way's gone.
The Yankee way.
It's gone.
It is. So to me, suck it up, win a championship. And if you don't win a championship, you got to make changes. And they don't. They're like the Cowboys, don't make changes. I don't know what it was in his mind. If Devers is that deep in his mind, and Devers is a great player, but he's not the. Yeah. It's not like he's pitching.
Well, it's not like you're facing Aaron Judge
or Shohei Ohtani, right? All right, enough on the Yankees because their Yankee fans are a bunch of idiots.
Just one more thing.
Go one more quote. Go.
Cole, do you think it worked?
Go.
There. Ron, I think looking back, it's the wrong move.
Yeah, of course it's the wrong move.
Yeah.
It backfires, and now you got to live with that. I think, to be honest, again, you're a little more upset about it than I because I care less because the Yankees.
I'm upset about the arrogance of Yankee fans.
Let me finish. I've always hated the Yankees.
But it's different.
It's the fact that this guy makes $30 goddamn million a year, and he's conceding, and you got to be out there. As much as Chris Sale pissed me off because he was always hurt, he stood out there and he pitched, and he whacked. He would hit you. He would pitch inside. He was never going to concede.
He sucked at
Roger Clemens the same way, right? These guys, Pedro Martinez, they're not backing down. God damn it, I hated Andy Pettitte, but he would never back down.
Kurt Schilling.
So Schilling, well, we won't bring Schilling.
He wouldn't back down.
So that's the only other thing the Red Sox is they run out of gas. We'll talk about the Red Sox offseason, what we think they need to do. We'll do that later.
So you talk about, you're saying this Yankee way thing. A Yankee fan your age, sure. Talk about the Yankee way, talk crap to you. A Yankee fan my age,
I don't disagree with you.
What is the Yankee way? Losing in the first round every year?
The Yankee way is that they're entitled. They're entitled because of the 27 World
Bringing back the same team?
They're entitled. Now, my story my story on the Yankee way is simple. It's simple. In 2004, when we walked out of that stadium after the 19-8 loss, I said to my dad, I cannot, and I'm going to swear, I got to beat myself out. I have to listen to a whole nother year of that effing Yankee way. And that's how it was back then. But you are absolutely right. They can shut their goddamn mouths. win something, and then they come back to talk to us.
Like I said,
I agree.
It used to be when you walked out of that ballpark in 2004. I'm sure there were Yankee fans. 26 championships. You guys suck. Blah blah blah. Now it's like, well, we've won more.
86 years.
We've won more division titles than you guys over the past decade.
Right. It's like no, it's
that's
true.
quite embarrassing. That's
like
where the Yankees have
I hate
fallen.
to bring in the Bruins. That's what the Bruins Bruins would put the banner up when they won the division because they didn't win a lot of Stanley Cups. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. You know what it wasn't? They didn't taunt us about 26. They always taunted us about Babe Ruth, and they always taught us Bucky Dent, and they always taught us Bill Buckner, and they always taught us about 86 years. That's what it was always that. It was,
and we're past that. I mean, you are at this point. The Yankees are the Red Sox little brother, and you have to accept that until you win something. And we suck right now.
We do.
And we suck.
We absolutely positively suck right now.
And it's like you could really bury us. You could bury us by winning right now because we're in such a bad spot. But you know what? You won't.
As we're running up on time, I want 3 things from you. Ohtani's make 50-50, yes or no?
What's he at?
48-50.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, my boy Ohtani. Next thing, the new Celtics. What are those?
He's like a 6-tool player.
I know.
He can pitch.
Not only that, he's a big boy.
Well, he can't field.
A question is 5-tool, 4-tool. So
he's 5 because he has the pitcher.
What are the jerseys called?
Oh, the City Connect Celtics jerseys.
Well, those are the goddamn ugliest thing you ever seen. 2 words.
That must have been what he must have. Derek White must have been fighting like the guy who made the jerseys. That's the only explanation. It's the worst jersey I've ever seen.
Okay, and before we go, WNBA playoffs are going to start. What did you tell me is going to happen there? You're going to watch?
Oh, I'll 100% will be watching Caitlin Clark. And Cheryl Swoops is on it's the Gilbert Arenas podcast where it's like if you say something smart, it's like maybe once every 100 years something gets said smart in that podcast. But she was just talking about, she was hating on Clark, how her season's not even been that impressive. It's like she's having a better year than you ever had. You had a couple, what does that say about you?
Didn't Gilbert Arenas pull a gun out in the locker room?
Yeah, Gilbert Arenas is a wild card. He's kind of funny, but he says some of the dumbest stuff ever.
I'll tell you,
and anything said on that podcast, you can't take seriously.
Our 2 podcast guys here, we don't pull guns in locker rooms.
I do like Gilbert Arenas. I kind of do. He just has no filter. He just says everything. It's funny.
Well, that's like you.
Jason Tatum.
Do you have a filter?
Oh, I 100% have a filter compared to Gilbert Arenas.
That's true.
He's the reason Jason Tatum wears number 0. You know that?
Is it?
He loved Gilbert Arenas.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, something for the other.
2 totally different people.
And
Jason
finally,
Tatum and Gilbert Arenas.
Okay, as we close up the show, I just want to say my good friend Dennis Ingram, the AD at Wilmington High School,
what does that even mean?
Gave me the captain's council. What they've done is
Council?
Let me finish. They take the captains, all the captains every year. They meet together once a month, and he's done a great job in trying to educate our captains and how you represent Wilmington. And he had these. This is a large, so I look a little bit fat in it, but I told him I wear it on the show. Football on Friday night coming up. They got smoked against North Reading. I'll be back in the booth on Friday on WCTV against Saugus. The guys are guaranteeing a win. I want to see that. I think that they're going to have to struggle, but the Saugus is relatively slow. We haven't done anything else, Jack, before we finish.
No, I was thrown off by Wilmington football guaranteeing a win.
Well, let me go down.
That'd be like Temple football going on and be like, we're going to win.
So we'll see what happens. I got to give the boys credit. I've called the game. We have a packed house.
I hope they do well. I hope they do well
as well. We had a packed house against North Reading. They said it was a wild night. We were in New York for the wild night wedding. Final word, Jack. What do you got?
You know what though? I don't. It's like the Kyrie Irving thing. It's like you're so worthless. I can't even hate you anymore. It's like you have to do. Like I hate with all my heart Liverpool. Because they kick our ass.
Okay.
And they put us down. And they're our biggest rival. It's like hard to just like totally hate the Yankees and really have them just like mess with your life constantly when they just, I know they're going to lose in the first round.
All right.
I know it.
All right. So that's.
Who are they going to pitch? Cole?
so that's.
And he's a great pitcher and all, but when it's a big game, you know he's not turning up. You know he's not showing up. Same with Judge. Not showing up.
All right, so that's Jack's final word. I think I'm having trouble with the camera here because it's not switching. So for episode 50, this is Jack Boyle and Jim Boyle. Episode 50 is a wrap, and we'll see you on down the road.
Thanks for listening to this episode of It All Boils Down to This, recorded at WCTV studios in our hometown of Wilmington, Massachusetts. We're always open to any ideas, critiques, topics, and guests. So if anyone out there in podcast world needs to get a hold of us, we can be reached via email at jboyle22@comcast.net.
Along with Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle. Make sure to tune in to the next edition of It All Boils Down to This.